I am giving you these jewels for free when I could be selling them. So wear them proudly and bask in their glow. Absorb their energy and power. Today I want to talk about knowledge, being a seeker of knowledge. I am sure everyone has heard of the phrase, knowledge is power, and that applied knowledge is power. In the first case, there is the potential for power. In the later case, applied knowledge is power to a certain extent. And here's why. In my own personal opinion, knowledge by itself is worthless if you don't know how to utilize the knowledge. Because you can acquire knowledge, but if you don't know how to transform that knowledge into power, then that knowledge in your hands is useless. In my own personal opinion, turning knowledge into power is the equivalent of turning lead into gold, which is called alchemy. So, just because someone acquires some knowledge doesn't mean they're going to be able to utilize it. And some people have understand the knowledge that they possess. So their results will fall short. I believe this is due to the lack of comprehension and understanding. If you have comprehend and have understand the knowledge that is in your possession, you are going to have results. You're not going to be able to tap into that full power of knowledge that you have. But if you fully comprehend and understand the knowledge that you possess, you can tap into the full power of that knowledge. It is wise to be a seeker of knowledge. Why? Because in my own personal opinion, knowledge is the forbidden fruit. Speaking from an African American perspective, my ancestors fought blood, sweat, and tears, gave their lives to acquire knowledge. So back in those times, knowledge was the forbidden fruit. It was forbidden for my ancestors to acquire knowledge. They couldn't do it. So back then, in those times, they would get beat and killed if they got caught reading. And it's sad, but it's true. My ancestors paved the way so that blacks could freely read without getting beat or killed for reading. And nowadays, a lot of people don't even read, and it's sad because only if they knew what other people went through just to be able to simply read a book, like, that was tough. That's tough. Like, you couldn't even read back then. Like, it was forbidden to read. And if you got caught reading, something bad was going to happen to you. And nowadays, people don't even read. It's I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Only if people actually knew what other people had to go through just to do something as simple as reading, I think people will read a lot more knowing that a lot of people actually died and got beat just just because they wanted to acquire some knowledge, you know. So, moving along. Have you ever really paid attention to the word knowledge? When you know something or you are in the know, it gives you an edge. That's why when you look at the word knowledge, you take the word know and you take that L and you separate it, and then you have edge. So being in the know gives you an edge. See what I did with that? I'm good at that. So being in the know gives you an edge. That's what knowledge means to me. So when you know something or you are in the know, it gives you an edge. So for example, say a person wants to become an entrepreneur, and you know a lot about being an entrepreneur. You possess adequate knowledge about being an entrepreneur. So you will have an instant edge. You will have a greater chance of becoming a successful entrepreneur than the other individual. Because the other individual, that individual wants to be an entrepreneur, become an entrepreneur, but doesn't know anything about being an entrepreneur. But on the other hand, you know everything about being an entrepreneur. So you have a better chance of becoming successful than the other person, because the other person don't know nothing about it. So the other person got to read about it, got to learn the ropes and all that, when you already know all of that. So out the gate, you're going to have the edge. You're going to take off. As soon as you start pursuing, becoming an entrepreneur, you're going to take off. While this other person got to read, study, pick other people's brain about being an entrepreneur. While they doing that, you're gonna be done took off. You're gonna be putting your plans to action. So being in the know and having that knowledge automatically gives you the edge. So you have a greater chance of becoming more successful than the next individual that doesn't have that knowledge. So moving on. I remember when I became a seeker of knowledge. It was as if I was experiencing a whole new world. Becoming a seeker of knowledge was literally the crucial turning point in my life. It changed my life forever. Like real life, it changed my life forever. It changed my life for the better. I became obsessed with knowledge once I came to the realization that knowledge has power within it. And if I could just figure out how to tap into that power source, the level of success I could accomplish is unlimited. And that's what made me, when I first started seeking knowledge, that's what made me more hungrier for knowledge. That's when I became a seeker of knowledge. So I'm like, damn, I'm reading all this information, and once I fully understand it and comprehend it and actually apply it, I could do a lot more in life than what I was doing. So that's when I became a seeker of knowledge and became obsessed with knowledge, and basically became a bookworm, But I realized that the things I could accomplish with that knowledge was unlimited. So, moving on. Have you ever heard of the phrase, "You are what you read"? I am a firm believer in that. And I'll tell you why. the content and the material of the selection of books that I chose to read was so rich and stimulating and powerful that I started talking and conducting myself in a manner that was the total opposite of how I was talking and conducting myself before I became a seeker of knowledge. And it was strange. It was strange to me, and it was weird. It's a weird feeling when that shift happens like that. You know. So I started to literally tap into percentages of my brain that allowed me to think in ways that was foreign to me, especially coming from the hood. I come from the ghetto. I come from the streets. So the way I had started thinking and conducting myself and talking, I'm like, this don't even feel right. But at the same time, I felt empowered. So I'm like, I'm going to keep going even though me reading this material is changing me. Like from within, to the outside. I'm like, this is changing me. But at the same time, I'm liking the feeling. So I kept reading. So every time I would pick up a book of my choice, I became one with the knowledge. I would consume it and feel it. And then I would sit back and meditate on the knowledge. I would visualize how I could utilize that knowledge so that I could get the fullest measure of power out of it, and how I could structure the knowledge into my life and make my life better. I'll leave you with this last jewel. Do as you will with it. There's something extraordinary about knowledge. Somewhere all around the world, from the beginning of time, individuals went through hardships, trials, and errors, and failed many times. And all of that, in the midst of all of that, they decided to put that knowledge of what they went through, all the trials and errors and all the failures, they decided to put that knowledge out into the universe so that other people could get the help that they needed or was seeking in life. So here's the magical part about that. They saved us a lot of energy and time and made things that much easier for us by putting that knowledge out there. They made it that much easier and saved us a lot of energy and time. So when it comes to knowledge, like, you really have to appreciate the knowledge when you can go on YouTube and find videos on how to do something in life, or you can pick up a book and figure out how to do this and how to do that. Like, you got to appreciate that knowledge, because a lot of people went through a lot, to create that knowledge and then put it out there into the universe so other people can get help and to make other people's situations better and to put them in a better position in life and just to put them in the know. So you got to appreciate knowledge. Becoming a seeker of knowledge is one of the greatest things you can do. And I'm speaking from my own experience. So with that being said, I'm out.